Okay, guys, we are live! So for those listening at home, welcome to the Dungeon Musings YouTube channel. My name is Kevin Madison, and I will be your friendly marshal today. I guess your friendly super marshal, because today we are going to be kicking off a brand new campaign, playing Pinnacle Entertainment's outstanding Savage Worlds. I always want to, because of the fucking camera placement now, I want to hold shit off to the side. Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, and we are making use of their very, very cool Superpowers Companion. Regular viewers on the channel will know that we've played quite a few sessions in one game that we play on the alternate Saturdays, and then also we played a couple of one-shots playing a bunch of Marvel characters or DC characters. We've had an enormous amount of fun with the Savage Worlds, the newest version of the Savage Worlds Supers Companion. So when we were figuring out what to do with our Saturdays for the foreseeable future, this is what has come up. The Guard is going to be featuring a team of Canadian superheroes, and it will... you'll see what we have in store for this, but let me not waste any more time. Oh, you know what? I'm not Super Marshal. I'm your editor-in-chief, your EIC, of course. Let me introduce you to the stars of the Guard campaign. I'll go the order I've got you on the screen. Why don't you guys tell us who you are and who you're playing? First up is Jeffrey.
Hey everybody, I'm Jeff, and I'm going to be playing Lincoln Mansfield, everyone's favorite mutant physicist turned superhero in Mind Warp.
Nice. Now this character seems familiar to me, Jeff. Why is that?
Well, we played a short-lived little Champions campaign. We were just kind of getting started on, I don't know, was it last year, I think?
Last year, yeah.
Yeah. And so we had a few adventures with Mind Warp at the University of British Columbia or Victoria?
Victoria, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. And we will be, those adventures are, as far as our series is concerned, canon. And we will be addressing at some point in the campaign why that shift in not only worlds, but also in powers has occurred. Next up is Will.
Hi, I'm Will. I'll be playing Cygnus. He's a armored superhero who's powered by a miniature black hole.
I'm sure nothing will go wrong with that.
No, it's absolutely fine. Everything's fine. Pay no attention.
Awesome. And last, but certainly not least, is Robert.
Hi, I'm Robert. I posted in chat. It's like we should have had a cold open with "Oh Canada" while listening to that. But,
I like living in Canada and whatnot. I'm not really a nationalist. There's a Canadian author whose name escapes me, but one of the things he identified as the Canadian identity is an inherent belief in the country's inferiority. So.
But it's okay. At least the stand on guard for the part might work well for us.
Yeah.
But anyway, so my character is I'll probably butcher the French, but I think it's more like Bouclier.
Bouclier.
And Bouclier. And
Bouclier.
It stands for shield. Yeah, the Bouclier. And it stands for shield. And he is he's a brute. But we'll see him when we go. He's also pretty much a failed impulsive biogeochemist who managed to do this to himself.
Nice.
Sort of accidentally.
I love his
He wanted to look like Superman. He wanted to look like Superman. He looks like a sumo wrestler.
He's also got he had just atrocious scores in so many skills. So he's just what I imagine he's going to play like. This may have been what you had planned, Robert, but he's just going to be a disaster when it comes to like almost any aspect of life. He just happened to stumble on superpowers. And one of the reasons I really appreciate that is because we were talking about one of my favorite D-lister, not even favorite D-lister heroes, favorite heroes full stop, is Bouncing Boy from the Legion of Superheroes. Because his powers came from, he was supposed to deliver this like experimental liquid, and instead he fucked around and went to a sport game and then accidentally drank it. It's such a great character. Oh man. So anyway, all right. So then, guys, we are going to adopt a bit of a comic sensibility for how we're telling these stories. One of the things that has been fun from some of our recent sessions, the one shots, is we've been making use of the explaining everything by way of kind of flashbacks or whatever. The summary stuff you would see on the first page of any, Marvel comic that was written by, or edited, I should say, by Jim Shooter in the 80s. And we're going to do much of the same. We're going to be opening up with this first issue of The Guard with the sound of wind. And what we see is first, I didn't put my wind sound effect. Guys, hold on. I'm robbing you of perhaps the most, it's a sound effect that forces listeners everywhere to go and check if they left a window open. Okay, let's see here. Wind. I have wind? Yeah, wind. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Immersion. All right. The sound of wind and tons of snow coming down. And what we see in white lettering or in the yellow text box, Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada. And then we see
Sorry, everybody.
the line cross out over Winnipeg, and someone handwrites in Winterpeg. And I show you these to give you a sense on the left of how much snow is coming down right now. But on the right is a specific location in Winnipeg. Among Canadians, and at least among Winnipeggers, a famous intersection. It's the intersection of Portage Avenue and Main Street. Portage and Main is one of the windiest spots in North America. Depending on whether you're talking to Chicago or not, there's a spot in Chicago that's apparently either as windy or more windy, but they have a contest for the shittiest place to stand in a hat. It's also the kind of confluence of downtown and the Exchange District and an area known as the Forks, where two rivers meet, the Assiniboine River and the Red River. The right is the actual, it is facing to the east on Portage Avenue, or on Main Street, forgive me. But on the left is what you would see as far as the wind is concerned. And what we hear is, on top of the wind, there is the sound of police. You can hear people shouting. Let me bring you to a map. Now, you will see to the south on the map, there are a series of police officers. These are so I'm thinking, I think it's Winnipeg Police Service. It's not the RCMP. So it's Winnipeg Police Service. There's a couple cruisers in here, and there is a wall of wind and snow ahead of them. This whole area is covered, and what you can see in the white lettering, what they add is April 8, 2023. This springtime in Winterpeg. And the you can see there are no cars to the north that are heading down, or the northwest, I guess, towards the west end of the city. Cars stopped up here, cars stopped up there. This is a direction of Main Street once again, and there are some other cars parked behind there, and there are lights on all the cars. There are no SWAT, members or whatnot. These are just uniformed members of the Winnipeg Police Service. And one of them says to the other, "We got to do something. We got to get in there." And then you hear a loud and low moan, as in the white wall, we can see opaquely the outline of a humanoid figure, But that can't be, because the outline of the humanoid figure would tower over the light standards on the side. We do not see the figure, but we hear the sound, and then you see a city bus go flying along here and land on top of one of the police cars, leading to a, explosion as if the thing was chock full of gasoline and lighter fluid. The police scatter, and they're shouting at one another, "Back up! We need backup!" And then, behind them, there is a rectangular-looking, glowing portal that opens, through which step 3 figures. And guys, as you arrive in Winnipeg, I would like you to tell us what the police see. And I'll just resize you for the area here. The measurements will all be correct in here. So if you use your measuring tool, everything will measure correctly. As a reminder, your abilities are generally listed in hexes or squares, not in inches or yards or anything like that, but I got both listed down here. So let's go left to right. Jeffrey, mine were perhaps unsurprising. The Speedster is the first one through.
Yeah. So what appears is a man in a sort of tight-fitting gray, plain, futuristic sort of spacesuit-looking outfit.
Okay.
With a very shiny visor.
And then Cygnus?
So Cygnus, he kind of comes flying and floating out. Just this kind of totally black, barely reflective armor.
Yeah. And finally, are you carrying Bouclier, or is Bouclier walking?
I figure I'd let him walk for now.
Okay. The reason being is because Bouclier, the nature of his powers is that his super strength and toughness and growth and whatnot only triggers once he starts taking damage. Kind of like a, what's his name? Sebastian Shaw type situation. Yeah. So him getting tagged or hit or whatnot is an important part of him getting his powers going.
Yeah. Or Rocky Balboa.
Yeah, or Rocky Balboa. Well, one is a more clear comic reference, I think.
Yeah.
Although Rocky was for a brief time a member of the G.I. Joe roster, so.
Yeah.
Oh, so the point being that if Cygnus was to drop him from a height onto the center of the street, that would trigger his power.
Yeah. He would take some damage, he would try to absorb the energy, and then get his powers going.
Yeah.
Okay. So then, sorry, Bouclier, are you walking out or being...
Well, I guess, like, how much did we know before we came in here? Just that there was a...
Well, again, hold on. Just go with it, and we will fill in.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Why don't we say standard operating procedure, if it's okay with you, Will, is for Cygnus to drop him from a height big enough to...
Sure.
All right, and so Bouclier, of course, besides, it would take me forever to get there. You guys have fast, I've got pace 6, so.
All right. So with that.
Let's do this.
All right. So if you're dropped from even a height of, let's see here, I was looking this up for us. So let's just get some dice rolling and see if Bouclier can't get... There's two things we need to do here. Is to see how Bouclier's powers work, and to introduce Robert to how you're going to need to track this on your character sheet, because you're going to need to know how to make those on-the-fly modifications, and it's actually very easy to do. So before we do the modifications, let's just get the dice rolled in. So with... Where is it here? Environment. Hazards. Let's say you drop them from 20 meters up. That would give you, I think, 4d6 damage. 4d6 plus 4. So would you, Cygnus, would you go ahead and give us a 4d6 plus 4? So 4d6 exclamation mark plus 4 roll.
That's how I would kill Bouclier on the spot.
Yeah. Okay, so 16. So we compare Bouclier's toughness is, I need to get these printed before next session, is I believe 10, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, 10. So what that means is he is shaken and he suffers 1 wound as a result of this, because that is 4 more, but not more than that. Now what he can do is automatically make a focus roll.
Okay.
So you just click on focus. You don't need to put the modifier you get from your skill bonus power is already included in your thing, so you don't need to add any other modifiers.
Okay, so is this where it says skill bonus? No, not focus plus 2. Where's focus?
No, just click on this the under skills. Just click on focus.
Oh, there it is. Got it. Okay. I'm clicking. Anything happening?
It'll prompt a modifier, which you need to
Oh,
click.
there we go. Okay, yeah, got it.
Okay.
Got it.
All
Okay.
right. So, target numbers in Savage Worlds are always, when it's not contested, is always a 4. That is a raise. So, what you would get is you would not only soak 1 wound, you would soak 2 wounds if you had suffered them. But there's only 1 available,
Okay.
so as you hit the ground, you suffer 1 wound. And then what we need to do is, so here's how you put the temporary modifiers in, Robert. You're going to need to click on that lock in the top right to go into edit mode.
Yep.
Okay, so we'll go into edit mode. Then what we're going to do is click on the cog for your strength, and we're going to click 1 up on the steps boosted or lowered, and it'll automatically calculate your strength as going up. Do you see where I've done that?
Yep.
Then we're going to go into the
Okay.
yeah, and then the cog for toughness, and we'll add it as a. Oh, you know what? I think it'll automatically do that with your size. So if your size, you just add it up by 1. Yep. Automatically calculated the modifier for your strength. So you just need to modify the strength, the size temporarily, which will calculate your toughness, and modify your strength. Then click the cog, and you're off to the races.
Okay.
Okay.
So did you also increase the size?
I increase. That's what I did. Is
increase the size?
Yeah, I increased the size already. See how your size is 1. Normally it's a 0.
Okay, got it.
Okay. So then, what does it look like as you hit the ground and we see you powering up?
It's like, it's certainly hard enough that it should probably really hurt him, if not kill him. And instead, he kind of lets out a grunt like, "Arr!" And then his flesh is a little bit rubbery and kind of when he's smaller, it's almost like folds. As he gets bigger, it kind of stretches a bit, so it's a little less. It's a little, basically he has too much skin. Basically, now it's beginning to, his body's filling out to basically fill out to the skin, and it's still not there yet. So it's obvious he could get a little bit bigger.
Yeah.
Let's do this. They start running really slowly towards the door.
All right. So the well, you guys are. There's no door. You've already gone through. You can't drop you 20 meters up in a mansion. You've flown in, dropped him, deposit. So actually, we can put you maybe a little further forward there. Cygnus, we'll assume you're a little bit up in the air. So you guys can see this. You race in. Now, this is obviously, jokes aside about Winnipeg and recent weather, this is really unusual weather. And more to the point, having a giant wall of white in one area is very unusual. Now, you can see you guys may be questioning, well, how the hell did we get here? Why are we in Winnipeg? That's a good question, guys. So to answer that, let's do a very quick flashback to your headquarters, which is Ravenscrag. Go. All right. So, get rid of those characters. Boom. And let me zoom in here. So, Ravenscrag is a actual place in Montreal that it was a mansion, like a place built by rich folks at some point, and then it became a asylum at another point, and now is the headquarters for the Guard, as sponsored by the retired kind of super magician named Dr. Caspar Caliburn. So, we talked a little bit before we went live that we're going to make use of the neat base rules that are in the Superpowers Companion. And as the campaign develops, you guys will be able to make modifications to the base. I'm going to assume that you guys have only recently come together in this. We will figure out how you guys knew one another, what kind of experiments you may have done with one another, and also what you think of each other outside of the superhero environment. If you're all scientists, of the three of you, Bouclier seems to be the one who's the least, the most enthusiastic, the least necessarily skillful. And then Mind Warp and Cygnus have a little bit of overlap, but Cygnus, where you are creating something and and it's a little bit dangerous, but you have managed to externalize your stuff. Your two companions, they have experimented on themselves. Now, one of the neat things with the base rules is it starts off, where is it here? It takes advantage of one of the other neat mechanics in the game, which is I think it's called the interlude. Where is it here? Here we go. So right now, none of you guys have conviction. Conviction is another one of the, it's like Benny's, another narrative metacurrency you can use to add to your rolls. At the start of each session, I'm going to randomly choose one player. I'm going to do this with Jeff because he's played with this NPC before for this one. But would you tell us a brief tale of this mentor, of Dr. Caliburn's guidance on you, and when you do, you will gain conviction. And this, you can use that to set up a scene as you're getting settled in at Raven's Crag. I don't know, there is certainly room for you guys to live at Raven's Crag if you'd like, and perhaps even to have your facilities like your labs and whatnot at Raven's Crag, but I'll leave it to you to decide whether that's the case at the start of our campaign.
Yeah, I think that this is probably, maybe this is a scene where I was moving my lab to, what is it, Raven's Crag, yeah. So he's moving his lab there, and I think that the interaction with Dr. Caliburn would have been that he actually was not assisting me in any way. Here I am moving boxes and all this stuff, and he was not standoffish, he was talking to me and whatnot, but a few times I'm making an indication. Heavy. Yeah, exactly.
You should get some assistance. And then going back to his book.
Yeah. And just a very excuse me, he's the boss, and at least that kind of stuff, he wasn't assistance.
I can't remember if we talked about this in the Champions game, but what do you think, what was the reason for Mind Warp to join the Guard? What value did he see in I
think if I remember correctly, he just sort of he realized one, he's a hero that his identity is known. He's not he doesn't have a secret identity, he has a public identity. And so I think there was a bit of social internet pressure and his own sort of beliefs that as someone who's got these abilities, he should be doing what he can to help his fellow man and his country. And the Guard was one of the maybe he even did research, and the Guard is like got a good history of positive outcomes in the country, and so he selected them as the best option, and especially because they're private and not government. Maybe he's tried to keep some of his research and stuff away from the government a little bit, you know.
Yeah.
Well, historically, they've had a few programs, you know, that have been a little bit on the shady side, and so.
Definitely. And for those listening at home who may want to be picturing what our world is like, one of the things we don't have like a series Bible or anything like that for the campaign. We're going to develop it as it goes. But one of the conceits we're taking is that, like a lot of superhero RPG settings, we're going to have ersatz versions of, you know, like classic superhero characters and settings and whatnot too. But the way to make it a little different is that we're going to assume that they were introduced to the world at the time that their correlates were introduced in the comics. So our like ersatz Superman type character would have been in 1938 that they first emerged in ours, and that will give us a bit more of a interlocking, interesting, you know, kind of world to play with, that where the players and, you know, viewers may have some things they can anticipate as being part of the world, but it also gives us an opportunity to invert some of those expectations, because, you know, if you've read the Generations series by John Byrne, which has a Superman Batman aging in real time kind of thing, or the Spider-Man Life Story series by I want to say Fred Van Lent and Mark Bagley. I can't remember if that's the right author though, but both those are great things that take the same kind of conceit of, what if these heroes aged in real time, what would the stories look like? So we're stealing kind of that idea without actually making use of those characters. So Dr. Caliburn, is he an ersatz Doctor Strange? Is he an ersatz Dr. Fate? Is he a Zatara? Well, I don't know, we'll have to see. But yeah, so that sounds great. So you got conviction right now.
Okay.
And
is there a spot on the token?
There isn't a spot. If you click on it, it automatically rolls for it. So you kind of just have to keep track.
Okay.
That you've got it.
And it's like you have it or you don't. And
precisely.
Okay.
Yeah. Then let's talk about what has brought you guys. This is earlier in the day at Ravenscrag. Cygnus, what do you think your stage of joining the Guard has been, and have you moved your facilities into Ravenscrag or yourself into Ravenscrag, or do you have a home elsewhere? What are you thinking? It's located in Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah, so you guys, I imagine if you are, places, there are, high-tech facilities all across Canada, or research facilities all across Canada. The center of industry is probably Toronto, though.
Okay.
Center of IT, though, at least for intellectual property law stuff, is Ottawa.
And what would Vancouver be, out of curiosity?
Vancouver is definitely a place of... it would have some high-tech stuff as well. It's also got a incredible entertainment area. A lot of TV shows and such are filmed there.
Okay.
But Vancouver would be, and Vancouver would have for one, a bit of a West Coast vibe to it, more so than what Toronto would. It also has ever since the turnover of Hong Kong, has a very large Asian population too, Chinese for the most part.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think...
You know what it is? Honestly, a cleaner Seattle. If you've been to Seattle, and no slight against Seattle, I've heard people from Seattle describe it as such. That's kind of what I've been to both cities. I lived in Vancouver for a while. Yeah.
I think I'm trying to decide if he actually tore up where his lab and everything was when he was developing this device. I think he probably did.
Okay.
I think that's kind of where he is when he was developing the gravitational lens, and trying to work out all the kinks and everything, and figuring out how the armor worked with it and how they channel everything. He probably caused a bit of a mess. And so the area was kind of ripped apart there. So he didn't really have anywhere to go.
Okay.
And so that's kind of I think Caliburn probably approached him.
Okay.
After kind of noticing that event and said, "Hey, look at, what are you doing? What's going on?" And, they talked and he was like, "I'm a scientist and I was developing this and, I've created this powered armor and I was testing it out and I've got it figured out now." And so he's like, "Well, hey, this is the Guard and this is who we are and what we do." And Cygnus was like, "Yeah, I definitely need somewhere to be." So that's kind of where he is. He's probably just at the freshness of having a place and now starting to get his equipment and lab back up and running. He's not moving anything because he kind of tore it all up.
Yeah. What prompted Cygnus to become a hero then?
I think he realized he's a bit of an altruist.
Okay.
And so, he's like, I've got this incredible power. Because what he was trying to do, he was trying to create a new energy source.
Yeah.
That's really what he was doing when he was researching all this. He's trying to research how to use a black hole as a source of energy. And that didn't really pan out, but there were these other applications that he discovered.
Okay.
And so that's kind of how he's like, okay,
if you're okay with it, let's say he's from Vancouver then, because that actually gives it spreads us across the country then, so we have more opportunities to have more personal connections across the country. And Caliburn, what you'll see as well is that Caliburn's magic can teleport you across the country, no problem. That door we saw in the opening, if you can picture the big long entry hallway that would be in this place with big sweeping arches leading into different chambers and whatnot, when you stand in that foyer with a magical command, you can open up portals to elsewhere. So as you're coming in, bringing your stuff in from Vancouver, you may see Mind Warp is getting the last, the last of his stuff moved into his lab. Although Mind Warp may have been here longer than what you have, so it may not be, at the time. Maybe he's actually helping because he knows fucking Caliburn won't be helping.
Yeah. Well, and depending on what you think, Lincoln would suggest that we combine our labs because shared equipment is definitely beneficial as far as I can use your stuff, you can use my stuff if you're open to that.
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely he wasn't in a university setting, but he had been, so he understands that concept of a group lab and having different equipment and booking time on it or however you want to say it. So, so that's not a big deal. You
guys can also think of if there are supporting NPCs that you want to include, like a lab assistant or boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever. You can feel free to add those characters in. This isn't Savage Worlds doesn't really require you to track that shit on your character sheet or anything like that. If there's a character who is a dependent who's going to regularly, it's going to be robbing the boy hostage, then that is reflected by a specific hindrance. But you can still incorporate that. You don't need to worry about having that. I'm trying to find an illustration here while I'm talking as well, because I'm going to show you what Mind Warp looks like outside of his costume. Because I have an illustration, a photo that Jeff sent. While I'm doing that, what does Cygnus look like outside of his?
That's a good question. I was just thinking about that. I was like, oh hell, I hadn't gotten that far.
Okay, that's okay. We don't need to reveal it yet. If you don't have, if you come up with an idea, let us know. But here's what. Where is he? Yeah, it was for sure last year because I'm going way back.
Oh, might have even been older than that.
No, I'm pretty sure it was last year. We just played it like in the end of last year, beginning of this year. We played a lot of different new games.
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I've just got a bunch of new stuff in here. Where is he? All right. Then finally, while I'm looking for that, Robert, how do you think does Bouclier live here? We don't know. And I don't know what Bouclier's secret identity is yet.
Yeah, and to be honest, I don't either. But because I was character rolled up yesterday. Wait, I could folks.
Oh, Robert, you're really quiet right now. I'm not sure if the mic or the mic's turned away or something up, but you've gotten a lot more quiet than what you were before.
Oh, hold on.
No, that sounds better.
Try this instead. Can you hear me now?
Yes, much better. Much better. Thank you.
Okay. Great. So I was trying to use microphones and headsets instead, or just use the phone. All right. So he, I thought about it a bit. So basically, who's this?
This is Mind Warp outside of his costume.
Yeah. Okay, got it. So imagine probably maybe in his mid-30s or so, master level scientist. He was always this big picture guy, right? And but he hated the details. So he would think, it's like, oh, if you combine potassium and plutonium, maybe it could have a major effect on, on strength or something like that. And so he would just start to experiment. He would use rats once in a while, but he wasn't getting anywhere. He knew he was going to be like this brilliant scientist. Nobody understood him.
In his mind, it sounds like.
Rats. Yeah. Killing rats and whatnot. And finally, he saw something that seemed to work. Like a rat actually appeared to be somehow seemed a lot stronger than what it was, right? And after putting in digging, he's like, well, I could go through all the work necessary and probably have people doubt me. And then by the time I get somewhere, I'll be like 50. He says, or I can just swallow this stuff now. And of course, he might have been a little drunk, at night. And so he swallowed it. And he woke up, he basically immediately passed out, woke up, and he had these folds of skin all over his body. And he was like, what the fuck? And of course, he's like, well, just ruined my life because he just started to date some new girl. And he's like, well, she's not going to like this. So he went out and got more drunk at a bar. And while he was coming home, he, he's generally a good kid. He wants to do good things and whatnot. He tries to help people if he can, but it's always kind of not thought out. And so when he heard these guys in an alley basically, roughing up somebody, he ran in there, told them, hey, stop that. And, they kind of looked at him like, ugh, what's wrong with you? And, when they saw the flesh, and somebody pulled out a gun and shot him. And that had a much different effect than what he expected and what anybody else expected. He was able to take them down pretty fast. By the way, this is in Toronto, I'm imagining.
Yep. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Okay. Okay. And anyway, so maybe we could say Caliburn. So unfortunately, I was kind of thinking along the lines of sort of what Will had for Cygnus, but basically somehow Caliburn gets wind of this.
Well, I'll tell you what I think, because with the way that Bouclier's backstory is and the way his skills are in particular, for reference for Will and for Jeff and for those listening at home, Bouclier's got a D4, which is barely functional level, or subpar at least, athletics, subpar, persuasion, subpar notice, subpar. He's just a fucking disaster of a human being. And honestly, I think that the fear was he easily could have been a supervillain.
Yes.
And the idea of bringing him onto the guard is more to try and shepherd him on the path so that he doesn't, because the guy who no one recognizes my genius kind of stuff, and I'm gonna experiment on myself and fuck it, and then this screw me over and get drunk. This is all the preamble to becoming a generic thug supervillain. But I guess maybe he recognized there was something, there was a nobility about you, or at least a heroic aspect to you. So it'll be interesting because Mind Warp just kind of puts you in the position of being the senior member of the team, as it were. Cygnus is relatively new as a hero, and Bouclier is going to need some serious sort of assistance with impulse control and with a direction on it to avoid him becoming a supervillain. Because like the power set you've got also is like, we didn't plan this way, I don't think, or at least I don't think you did, Robert. But it's the kind of power set that's like that. Kirby or Lee or Kirby or Jerry Conway or Roy Thomas would come up with as a foil for superheroes. Because, you're like, oh, you can't just hit him because he gets more powerful. Like, the Growing Man is like that. Kang's giant robot thing.
Yeah.
So, okay. And does Bouclier live in Ravenscrag?
He would, because he's like... he would live there.
Okay.
He would, because once all that happened to him, he knows he's going to lose his job and whatnot, and he would pretty much need to find a new place or go back home to parents who would not understand him at all at this point. So,
yeah, he for sure was on the supervillain trajectory. I love it.
Does he have the formula for what he did to himself, or do you imagine it's like lost?
He was impulsive, so he probably scribbled some notes down, which were like, hard for him to decipher. And he probably, after like this was like the fourth iteration of trying with the rats. 3 of them died, and then he did something that he probably didn't actually write down, and so. He's basically got the formula that killed the third rat.
You can almost picture him showing up at like the pet store to get more things, and like the pet owner is like, do you have a boa constrictor? Do you have? He's like, yeah. So awesome.
And his notes might be like it could either be 1 cup or 1 tablespoon. He just put down like 1 for like the amount of potassium he added. So
right,
yeah. And I think, to give you guys context rules-wise, I'm pretty sure this is... Yeah, because his... for the, scientist who managed to give himself superpowers, he has a science of D6. So he's got, like, the level of, like a junior high school, science teacher level of mastery.
I love it.
He was pretty good at fast talking too. So he's pretty good at fast talking. That's where his taunt ability is coming.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, it all fits together beautifully. So that's great. Yeah. All right. Okay. So then we've got So this is the you guys can think of what things have been like. Maybe it's the first week that you guys have finally all settled in, and perhaps like Mind Warp may have opened the opportunity for Bouclier to share a lab as well, and how would he have responded to that?
He's like, yeah, man, I can do some science shit. Look at me.
He's picking up stuff and moving it around. Cygnus is like, no, that's very dangerous.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. So where would we have... think of yourself what you would have been doing. You're free to travel because of the nature of the portals at Ravenscrag, to travel back and forth wherever you wish, anywhere on the planet, to be honest. But if you've still got connections back in wherever you're in Toronto, in Vancouver, or Mind Warp, where's he from originally?
I believe he is from Manitoba.
Oh, nice. Okay, so he's from okay.
Probably Winnipeg.
So yeah, your hometown. So when sort of Caliburn calls you all to, there's portents that have been, suggest ill tidings in Winnipeg. Where would he have found you guys? Where would be the average kind of morning activity? Where would we find you in this sprawling area? It's actually it's springtime as well, so it's quite nice outside. It's more the top picture than the bottom picture.
Okay. Morning, I think Bouclier probably, if he's allowed to do any drinking, probably not. At least people keeping an eye on him. He probably would have, usual habit would be to drink something at night fairly much and probably wake up around noon. So he's probably still asleep.
Okay. So you're in bed, sprawled out, Okay.
Yeah.
I would say Lincoln is working. He's probably almost always working on, his whatever he calls his main project. So he's in his lab, probably 12 hours a day kind of thing.
But I can't remember her name offhand, but I think you got that lab, the assistant that you work with as well. We had that as your supporting character.
Yes.
Are you maybe like in a teleconference with her?
Yeah, probably, because I think she's taken a corporate job. She's not like my direct assistant anymore.
Yeah.
She's maybe I couldn't afford her. She just got too good in her field, and it just wasn't right for me to keep her on. She was the engineer,
whereas you were the scientist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah, so she's maybe like an aerospace.
She's working in the aerospace industry.
Okay. Or space, maybe. Well, I mean, aerospace would incorporate that too.
Right.
Canada's claim to fame on the shuttle is the Canadarm. We developed the arm on the space shuttle, and we have the most musically gifted astronaut too, Chris Hadfield. So with so maybe she's checking in on you, and then what about Cygnus?
He's probably still calibrating. He's setting up stuff, tuning it. He's always working a little bit on his armor. That's probably the main things he's focused on right now.
Okay. So it's at that when you guys can hear a voice that kind of booms everywhere in the building, waking up Bouclier and kind of like bringing you guys to attention. Caliburn says, "The guard to the hall." And that's where all the portals would be. So,
yeah. Okay, opens one eye. Thinks about going to sleep. Hell. Daggers out.
So Mind Warp and Cygnus, Cygnus in his armor, Mind Warp in his costume.
You probably see him quickly put his
Bouclier coming down the stairs. You can see Caliburn is there, and he's kind of pacing back and forth, and kind of tutting, as he's his brow is furrowed, and he's thinking, and then he doesn't even seem to be acknowledging your presence. And then once you're all together, he turns and says, "Eddies and swirls of magic. Something is afoot in Winnipeg. I don't know whether that is something is attempting to conceal itself from me as well. I think there is trouble."
So the first thing is that, because I actually thought this is what he said, Bouclier thought he said "at ease" instead of "eddies," and so he promptly sits down on the ground and then realizes what he said and starts to pay more attention.
Okay.
Any idea what it is?
I don't, but...
Well, I guess we better go check it out.
Spells. It is most confusing. Now, we'll need to study further, but I believe it will require your immediate attention.
You got a location?
He gestures, and you can see through the portal the easily identifiable for you Mind Warp intersection of Portage and Main.
Oh, great. Just
and
where I want to be on a day like today. Yeah, like it's...
Yeah, and even for like, again, you can get late snow season. What this is full on like late December, early January blizzard weather. This is definitely not typical for Winnipeg weather. Although Bouclier, your common knowledge of D4, you may only think like, all right, well, what? It's snow in Winnipeg. What's the difference?
Yeah. Well, he probably didn't even notice it was Winnipeg. He's probably like from Antarctica. He's like, but he has his powers don't work on cold, at least cold damage. So he's like looking at this guy.
Yeah.
Why do we gotta go there? Isn't there disaster happening like in Florida or something?
We need not. What Caliburn says is we cannot select where the need is, Bouclier. We simply respond. Now.
All right. Let's go.
Okay. And with that, we'll cut back to Porridge and Maine. So, you all have stepped out. What you see before you, I guess, beside you is the burning wreck where a bus has been thrown into a car. Ahead of you, there is a swirling mass of snow. And then to your, if you zoom out a bit, basically on either side of you are big, tall skyscrapers, and in particular to your right. To the right is, I'm not sure if it's the tallest building in Winnipeg, but it's the Richmond building, isn't it, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, or Richmond Centre.
I'm not sure what it's called. It may be changed names over
that's true.
the years, but I don't.
It's fucking, what do you call it, monkey, whatever. What are they called? The stupid scam things, the digital art, what is it called?
Oh, Bored Apes or whatever.
Yeah, the Bored Ape Tower. All right, so first off, everyone gets a Benny.
Cool.
Nice.
So Benny is tracked on your green bar. If you add one to your green bar, just add that, we'll add that. And then you can see the couple of the Winnipeg police officers are all turning their kind of like, their guns on you. What do you guys do?
The first thing Cygnus is going to do is check that bus and make sure there's nobody in it.
Oh, good call. Yeah. Give us a notice check, please.
Sure.
See you fly over it. Yeah.
Woo.
No, fortunately, there was no one in there. But you got a raise on it. What you can see is on the end, there are, I mean, this looks crazy, but there are huge handprints where it's been gripped, and you can see the metal has been has been pressed in. Easily, the hands would be about 3 or 4 times the size of what a human scale hand would be.
Okay.
Okay. What does anyone else do? Bouclier is kind of charged up with his power and mind work. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, I would just probably say something to the police officers.
Sure. What do you say?
We'll handle it from here, boys. Keep the intersection clear.
Okay, I want you to give us a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
It's not like you need to get into. Well, you guys want to get a sense of what, how they're reacting. Yep.
Ooh.
Success.
Thank goodness for the wild dice.
Yeah. And one thing I'll remind as well, if you spend a Benny and re-roll, in Savage Worlds, you take the better of the 2 rolls unless you roll 2 ones. If you roll 2 ones, that's always okay. Some of you guys have abilities like Mind Warp and Cygnus, I think both have Genius, which gives you a free re-roll. You can always trigger that unless you roll 2 ones. 2 ones are always taken over anything else. So they kind of, one of them seems to recognize you, What is this? What is this thing? We haven't seen them, and that is when you guys hear a mournful and terrifying howl carried on the wind. And what I'd like you guys to each do is to please give us a spirit check at -2.
Uh-oh. Do you put -2 into the modifier?
You do, into the modifier, yeah.
Oh!
No problem. Yeah, no problem. Again, a 4 is all you need to succeed here.
That 4 is all I need, but man.
Nice!
Oh, we did it.
All right, so each of you feels for a moment a pang of terror. Let me roll for the police officers. They scream.
And they're going to be heeding my words a little
Oh yeah,
closer.
every single one of them turns and sprints out of here. But you know, like, it's not cowardice on their part. It is the fact that it's, you know, it's something. This is an unnatural terror, almost something that stirs like. It's not just that it's terrifying. It's that it's triggering just at the edge of consciousness, memory of something absolutely fucking terrifying that you cannot fully recall. It's like when you wake up from a nightmare and you're panicked and whatnot, but you can't quite remember the particulars of it, but you have that feeling still. That's what's gnawing at the edge of your mind, is this almost subconscious feeling of dread. Now, what do you guys do? I guess first off is, if you wish, I don't think anyone has training in occult, do they?
No.
No? Okay, then what you can each do is go ahead and give us a untrained skill check.
Okay.
That'll be the first skill listed in your skill thing there.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. No consequence or critical failure in this, so you don't need to worry about.
Oh,
nice.
Wow. Nice.
So for whatever reason, perhaps it's because of the Canadian location, the presence of a massive blizzard, and the cry. What you guys, both Bouclier and Mind Warp, think of, because you got raises on it too. You think of that legend of a cannibal spirit that cries across the empty Arctic regions, the Wendigo.
I imagine we think of it from different positions. Like, Mind Warp has probably read some scientific paper about it, and Bouclier's like read the Weekly World News article.
Yeah. No, actually, he was probably just reading some random horror anthology the night before.
Yeah. Terror of the Canadian frontier.
Yeah.
So that is when you see there are 6 figures about, let's see here, how tall are they? They are 10 feet tall, lean. And they look, guys, where is it here? There we go. Go up here. Sorry, I thought I had prepped all the handouts, but I did not. There we go.
And did you say there's 6 of them?
There are 6 of them, but this is what they look like, guys.
That's just like, we're gonna die.
Oh.
And let me show you. There they are. Stepping out of those winds. And you guys, in spite of being in the middle of the city, in the heart of downtown, and cars being parked in one place or whatnot, I'm not sure you have felt more alone than you do right now as this pack of cannibal spirits step out. Now, for those listening at home who are Savage Worlds experts or whatnot, we are aware, I just want to say this now so that we don't have more comments. I'm aware that there is a way to have the cards put into the initiative tracker the way you do in every other game. But we like the tactile nature of having the cards drawn out one at a time and whatnot. So yes, we're going to be, awkwardly drawing these cards and laying them down in front of or next to the characters. For myself, I fucking love that aspect of the game, and we talked about this before in our previous sessions as well. We have enjoyed that part of it. So just to forestall any comments about, you can make it work faster, we're aware that you can do that. We just like doing it this way. So guys, with that in mind, we are going to jump into initiative. Now, does anyone have any edge that I need to be aware of that that will affect your initiative? I think, let me double check here.
I don't honestly 100% know.
You do, quick. Yeah, so Mind Warp. Any card less than 5, you get to redraw.
Oh, cool.
Or 5 or less, you get to redraw. So it fits that you were the first one up. Let's draw for you. So, for instance, a 4, we get to redraw. 7, Cygnus, Jack, nice. Bouclier, King, and for the Wendigo, a 6. Oh, I forgot to get my bennies for the session. Here we go.
You don't need no stinking bennies.
Oh, I love it. Love me some bennies. This sounds make life interesting for you guys. All right. There we go. Okay, so
6 Wendigos isn't enough.
all right, guys. So I'm not spending any bennies to redraw. If and Rob, I can't remember what your level of familiarity with Savage Worlds is, but the way initiative works in this, and for your benefit and as a reminder to everyone, we start with the highest card, and then we go in suits in reverse order, and we go down. If you draw a Joker, not only does everyone on your side get a Benny, you also get +2 to actions and +2 to damage for the round, and you get to act whenever you want. Normally, if you want to interrupt someone else's action, you have to make an agility check. If you want to hold your action, then jump in before someone else does it. And something I noticed in when I was rereading the Superpowers Companion, you can spend a Benny to do a power stunt to try and act before someone too, regardless of whether your initiative is in there. This is the seizing the moment stuff. So these tall, lean things, and let me I don't think they will technically take up 2 hexes, but I want to make them big. So I'm going to do this. Whoop, where are we going? Yeah. Actually, that's going to take up too much space. There we go. Believe me there. Just remember, they're big. They're big. All right. So then, unless anyone is spending a Benny to get a new card, Mind Warp, are you okay with the 7?
Yeah, I'll take the 7 for this round.
Okay. Then, first up is Bouclier. What are you doing?
He's going to charge at 6.
Okay. So you can also run. You can always, it's not an action to run. If you do, just click on your run, what do you call it? Your run button on the character sheet, and it'll, you're going to have to look a little bit. Like, these character sheets are very small, Robert. You need to just try looking first.
Okay. Okay, got it. Yep.
Got it. And then the what that is when you run, you get -2 to your actions that round, but you roll a 1d6 unless you've got some other modifier, 1d6, and you add that to how many hexes you run.
Okay.
Okay. Did you find it?
Actually, no.
No problem.
It's on the main page, right?
There is only one page for. Well, there are, like, you can go to the little dagger gives you the combat options for Savage Worlds, but your run is, where is it here? If you hover over running.
Is this a skill? No.
No, under derived, there's parry, toughness, and then there is running. Hover,
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll look at. Yeah, got it.
Okay, if you click on that, that'll tell you how many hexes you can move. 9. So you can move 9 squares.
Okay. Now, can I use an edge at the same time or no?
You're at what edge are you thinking?
Provoke.
So those things are active all the time. Once you click on provoke, let's just see what it does.
Okay. Well,
Okay.
we go to here.
Because I think this is a good opportunity to talk about something else that. Click. You just click on it; it'll show up in chat.
Yep. Once again, I really need to just be looking at this sheet a while so I can figure out where everything is. Why can't I not find provoke? I see my hindrances. I see my special abilities. Super edge. There we go.
Okay.
No.
If you scroll down to the bottom, there's the one that says edges.
Oh, there they are. The very bottom. Okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
Okay. All right. So what provoke is something that triggers when you use taunt to do a test. A test is using a skill to try and impose one of 2 conditions on adversaries. You're either making them distracted, which is -2 to it's a +2 to affect them. No, -2 to their actions, or they're vulnerable. -2 to or +2 to affect them. If you get a raise on it, you can make them shaken. That's what a test normally does. And what your provoke edge does is when you get a raise, when you use a test, you also can provoke them, meaning they have to attack you or they suffer -2 to hit anyone else.
Yep.
That makes sense?
Yes.
Okay.
So let's say that he isn't quite aware of this power yet, so he's kind of using it. This might not be the best time to use it, but he's just kind of, come on. If he knows that they're like cannibals or whatever.
Yeah.
Come on, there's all this flabby stuff for you to eat here. Come on.
So this is a great example. So right now, to show how the character is going to grow over time, right now, his tests only target one thing. So it'll target one character, but there is an edge you can take later on, like as you go on, called Rabble Rouser, that I believe affects a number of different things. So what you're going to do is give us a taunt check. And do you have, I can't remember what your other one is. I don't think you, wait, let's see here. You have, here we go, Iron Jaw. Okay, so no, there is one that grants you a +2 to taunt checks. You don't have that yet. But, so, give us a taunt check at -2. And the reason you're taking the -2 is because you ran.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Nice. Incredible, the raise. So one of them is for sure gonna come in and fuck you up. I'll say it's the closest one. This one just you see is that skeletal, horn or head or whatever kind of opens up, and there is a disgusting gore-filled jaw underneath this thing. These things are living up to their cannibal spirit legend. All right. Then next up is Cygnus. Are you doing Cygnus?
So let's see. I need to zoom in there, I guess. And
so your pace is how many squares you can move without running.
That's a lot of squares.
Superheroes can really get around.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, so no reason to worry about that. Let's see here. He'd probably get up close to his.
So one thing I forgot also. Bouclier, you have one absorption token right now, or transformation token. The reason that's important is because you can spend that. One of the things you can use that for is spend it to do a power stunt equal to 15. And what I wanted to mention is if you're finding that you're having difficulty getting around, you could power stunt to redirect that power and give yourself, say, leaping for a round.
Okay.
And with 15 points, I believe it's a mile you can leap.
Wow. Okay. That'd be cool.
Yeah. So you can just, make use of that as one way to get yourself around without having it on your sheet. So sorry, Will, I just wanted to mention that.
No, that's fine.
I just remembered the transformation token. And maybe what we'll do, Robert, is why don't we do this? We'll use the token on your character. If you click on your token and you hover over one of the buttons, you can just, like, I've hovered over red. I've hit 1 to keep track. You've got 1 transformation token on you. Okay. No. Not the. You've just given yourself a wound. Not the circles. If you click on the second button, the one on the right, where it opens up and there's different symbols and such. Yeah, and if you hover over one of them, like I'm using red, but you can use whatever color you want. If you type a number in, it will put a number in the circle there, so that's a way of keeping track of your transformation tokens.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Wait, how do I type the number? Oh,
there, you just figured it out. Perfect. Okay.
And I just touched myself. Okay.
There you go. All right. Sorry, Will, what are you doing?
No, you're fine. I needed to look at my character sheet anyway. So
Okay.
It worked out all right. Let's see here. Oh, no, it's not on there. It's in the book. I was trying to remember with the gravity control, kind of what I was thinking about, because I know it's like a burst or something.
Yeah, it's a medium burst template.
Okay.
Which means you can affect, is it here? I think it's 2 or 3 targets in it. And then what are you thinking?
So I think I want to kind of fly up, and these 3 over here on the right, I was going to try and use my gravity powers to slow them down.
Okay. So medium, 3 targets with medium burst template. Yeah, okay.
So move up.
Here's what you would do. Let's see here. We'll take a look at energy control. Here we go. Yeah, so within 12 squares, you can affect the field, and it'll affect 3 of them. So it'll be those 3 on the right there, your options are damage, dampen, darken, or distract. So let's see here. Dampen's not it, it's not damage. It'll be distracted. So you don't have the power to like hold them in place. I don't think you've got entangle, right?
No, I don't.
Okay. So you don't have that. So what you would be able to do is hold them down. And basically what distracted would do is it would give them -2 to their actions for next round as gravity's weighting them down.
Yep, that sounds like what he wants to do.
That's what you want? All right. So you get over there. And then Mind Warp, what are you doing?
Excuse me. Let's see. It can move 11.
These are the ones that are affected by your distracted.
1, 2, 3. Let me move over.
You can
1,
move
2,
like
3,
as
4,
much as you
5,
want.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
You can also
11.
move after actions too. So remember, this is one of the games where you can attack and then move and attack and move. And you get every round you can ready two objects. There's no action for drawing stuff. This isn't going to come up in superhero stuff all that much, but I screwed it up a couple of sessions ago, so I thought I'd mention it again. All right, so I'm taking this Mind Warp. Sorry, you race over, then what are you doing?
Are you saying I can reach them, or I have to run?
Oh, you can. No. Your pace is.
It says. Oh, 360. Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that now.
Yep.
Okay. I was looking at this speed 11 thing. No, it's pace.
Speed 11 is how many points are in it. Yeah, no, you move at 240 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah, okay. I just wanted to describe this power really quickly, what it looks like to my fellow gamers, because they never were part of the Champions game. So Mind Warp actually sort of bends time and space with his mutant power. So when he runs, it's not like he's, taking every step to get there. It's almost like you're looking at an animation and the frames are missing or something, and his feet are like almost like sliding across the ground. So he is running, but it's like, it looks wrong in some way where he's like jittering across the world. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he's going to run up to probably this front one here.
Okay.
And just do his regular attack, his pummel attack.
So, and remember, you do not suffer the multi-action penalty with your first or your first additional action because you're super speed. So that means you could take 2 attacks if you like.
Okay, so I click on this melee attack. Is that the correct one?
Yeah, whatever it is, the weight of we use this. I tried to use the same. Use the attack.
Oh.
Under weapons.
Oh, here. Yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Under gear.
Is that where it's listed? Sheet. Let's see here.
Oh my god.
You want to Benny that?
Yep.
Go right ahead.
Oh my goodness!
Oh no!
How do I roll 3 1s and a 2 out of 4 rolls?
All right, so as you run in there, I think you are. Can you give us
God,
an agility check at -2? You actually might get caught up in Cygnus's field.
Yeah.
Agility -2.
Let's see. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh yeah.
Oh shit! So you were also distracted. But I love these. This is how you guys are learning to work as a team.
Right. So I actually maybe imagine this is maybe this could even be the first time that he's seen this.
Yeah, quite possibly.
He's worried about Buckley doing something stupid, so he's like watching him.
Oh, stupid now, eh? All right, so that means you're distracted, and I think there is a distracted button you can click.
Oh yeah, I think there is actually
on the sheet. And then would you kindly you make your second attack though? It'll just be.
Oh, you still can. Okay.
Oh yeah. You have your 2 actions. So for multi actions, anybody can declare multiple actions. You just take -2 normally for each addition. There you go. Look at that recovery. That's a hit with the raise. Go ahead and roll damage. Nice.
Oh,
18 points of damage, and because this is your first one, you can, because of your pummeling ability, you can add +4 to the. I put down the first one. I'm assuming it's whatever one you hit with, I guess. Because you only do a 1-year attacks per round, but yeah. And on top of that, just to be clear too, you can also do, if you had an ability like an edge called Frenzy that allows you to roll an extra dice with it, you can do Frenzy on your first attack and another one. So you could really like lay on the extra actions here, Mind Warp.
Okay, yeah.
So 18 is enough to shake and give a wound to this thing. So what does it look like as you smash this thing down to the ground?
Yeah, like I think he comes in. You said it's like a gravity gun or something, or gravity effect that you use?
It's a gravity field, so he can, like, what it looks like is it's a warp of space-time, really.
Yeah, so I think
there's kind of that warping.
Yeah, I think he comes in and he's just never felt it before, and his first punch, it's almost like it pulls backwards instead of forwards, right? And then he's like, oh, and then he sort of puts, focuses his own power right onto his fist and slams it into this thing.
There is something else. Both Sickness and Mind Warp have the Reckless hindrance.
Yeah.
And both of your powers relate to kind of warping space. So I think for a brief moment, and this is why you're still distracted, Mind Warp's not the actual gravitic field itself. It's you could feel that same pull that you felt the last time, the whole world change underneath you.
Yeah.
Kind of being pulled almost across space and time. So that's it. So one of them seems to be hitting the ground. This is then the end, and it's freezing too. When you hit this thing, again, it's 10 feet tall. So you sort of like maybe hit, in super speed, you hit a knee, so it drops down. You hit its jaw, you hit its side, and then it finally hits the snow-filled pavement. But then it's their turn, and what you see is that's what it is. Okay, I need that.
There you go.
Okay, this thing hits the ground, and it's like its head is bent at an angle that there's no way this thing is getting up until you see it twist and pop around. It's on the ground. I'm gonna put purple. It's prone, but it's beginning to stitch back together. And you rolled a raise on your occult roll for before. What's the old saying? Burn it with fire.
Kill it with fire in the snowstorm.
Then let's see. Your Cygnus is how high up do you think you are right now?
Let's see. Let me think. 2 stories.
So if you're 2 stories, that answers my question as to who's getting attacked. So I'm just going to go.
He's probably a good 20 to 30 feet in there.
Okay, yeah, so they're not going to be able to reach you. Bouclier, however, they can. That one that you taunted kind of roars. And did you want it to be distracted or vulnerable? Vulnerable means you'll get +2 to affect it. Distracted means -2 to its actions.
I think he would want it to be vulnerable.
Vulnerable, okay. So violet for that's pink. Violet for vulnerable. There are actual Savage Worlds specific tokens or token markers that you can download, and I just haven't done that and installed them. I will before our next session because I really like those. All right, so this one is enraged and comes in on you, and that enrage lasts until the end of the encounter. So he comes in on you. And as a reminder for folks, and if you haven't played Savage Worlds before, there are 2 kinds of characters in Savage Worlds. There are wild cards who take 3 wounds to go down normally and also get their own set of bennies, and there are extras. Extras do not get that, and generally they go down if they suffer a wound. These guys, you will always know the difference between wild cards and extras, generally speaking. So this thing comes in, and one of the big things is they don't get to roll a wild die. They only get to roll their skill dice. So this one runs in on you. Fighting is D10. What your parry is a what, Bouclier?
Parry is a 6.
6. Nice. Okay. So you're a little easier to hit. All right. we go. So it races in, claws at you and misses. But another one comes racing in. And now has a gang up bonus. So it gets +1 to hit. Because there's another one in there. That's a 9. So it hits you, not a raise. Let's see how much damage it does. 1d.
I love how your character wants them to damage you.
Yeah. Like, come on. That's why he makes him vulnerable. He doesn't want to make himself harder to hit.
Okay, so this is your current toughness is an 11, right?
Yep.
Okay, so this is a 12. Now here's the thing. So when you exceed but don't get 4 over the toughness, you are just shaken. You are not.
Yep.
So there's a shaken button on there. But what I can tell you, and this was this, I had written this adventure before I knew the particulars of your character. This does cold damage.
Okay.
So this is, and actually, I will say as well, there's a great little like call out or like sidebar in the Superpowers Companion where they say like it's not like the reason that weaknesses or vulnerabilities are interesting for these things is because they show up in comics, right? So like they say don't feel like you're being unfair by using these things. I'm not using it to justify, but it's like it's one of the fun things about this. So they come in. So if you can click on shaken, you are currently shaken. Okay.
Yep.
And then another one comes in. He has a gang up bonus of +2 now. That is a 9. I get another hit on you. But let's see here. But that doesn't get past your armor. So they're hitting you. You can feel the cold as they're battering away on you. Mind Warp. Your toughness is your parry is a 10, right?
Parry. Yep, that's correct.
So he comes in, he get +1 gang up bonus. Narrowly misses you. So you duck under this, and you can feel the weight of like, whoa. Thank God that Will didn't pick vulnerable, because that would have been -2 to your parry. And then, this last one comes racing on you and cannot connect. So with our heroes surrounded by the Wendigos of Winnipeg, with Bouclier realizing these things can actually, in fact, injure him, and he won't be able to absorb their attacks. I think now is a good time for 2 things. For 1, everyone gets a Benny.
Ooh.
And 2, let's take our mid-session break. And we'll come back, and then we'll see what happens next. So, for those listening at home, we will be back momentarily. Okay. Oh, just waiting for Robert to get back. Oh, I can't be the only one who's been singing Wendigos of Winnipeg to the tune of Werewolves of London.
I was just thinking about you when you're like, oh, we'll be back momentarily. All of a sudden, I thought of Chuck Woolery, who was a game show host.
Yeah.
And he was always, we'll be back in 2 minutes and 2 seconds. That's what I thought of.
Isn't Chuck Woolery the one who wrote Confessions of a Dangerous Mind?
I don't know.
Let me see here. Because one of those guys who maybe it wasn't him. Hold on. Confessions. Or he claimed to be a CIA assassin.
No. Oh, wait, was that a game show guy?
Yeah, it was the host
yeah,
of the Gong
I've seen
Show.
that movie with Sam Rockwell.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was thinking about what's his face from Hogan's Heroes. Yeah, I don't think it was Woolery. I don't think. I don't see anything in here.
Here we
Reading
go.
his Wikipedia page.
Chuck Barris. Yeah, so, the host of the Gong Show.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's a great film as well, but pretty wild stuff.
I'm a big Sam Rockwell fan.
100%. Yep.
Sam Rockwell is great.
Yep.
He really is.
Okay. So I think, well, then I'm very glad to hear that because you have yet to meet Agent Cody Deer.
Nice. I saw a YouTube video about him, about his career, and talking about how his signature thing, just like how Tom Cruise runs in all his movies, Sam dances in all of his movies.
Oh, that's great.
So if you're watching his movies, you can pay attention for the dancing scene.
I got to rewatch Moon then. All right.
Oh, he definitely dances by himself in Moon, I'm pretty sure.
Okay, so starting off, next round is round 2. Where's my initiative tracker? Oh, I'll put my thing over here. Okay, round 2. Here we go. All right, so then Mind Warp. You're up first here. That's a 5. So
yeah, get that junk out of here.
Get that junk out of the 8. All right, so 8 for Mind Warp. For Cygnus, Jack. Nice again, and Bouclier, Queen. And for the Wendigo, a 10. Oh, boy. Anyone spending bennies to get a new card?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will.
Awesome.
I don't like.
There you go!
I
Big
knew
payoff.
it.
Nice.
Everyone gets a benny. Oh, and you know what? Your max
So that
bennies.
was a free penny.
No, there is no max in it. So I put it at 5 just for, ease of reference. But I can give you guys some extra space here. Go. There you go. Got to get you to start spending those faster. There we go.
Yeah, I'm fixing to try and
Oh,
burn.
believe me.
Okay. All right. Then that means Mind Warp, you can go whenever you want. So would you like to go first?
Well, let's go right away.
Okay. Go ahead.
No, if you're going to say something.
What I was going to say is that, as a reminder, your multi-action penalty is -2 for each action you take, and you ignore the first one. You could take 3 actions this round and suffer no penalties because you have +2 to hit, +2 to damage, thanks to your Joker.
Oh, true, yeah. But I think what you're going to see, and I mean, this could still be affected by a multi-action penalty, something that you're going to see Mind Warp do quite often. He's going to try and stunt a power.
Nice. What's he going to do?
So what he wants to do is basically, it's like you said, fire burns or whatever. So he's thinking like, how can I generate some real heat here?
Okay.
So he wants to do the old, run in a circle around these things as fast as he can to sort of, generate heat from friction from
Yeah. So it'll be a power stunt. So what, your speed is 11, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's what I'm going to tell me if this is sort of achieving what you're thinking. It sounds like you're trying to create the heat around yourself. In which case, that would be a damage field.
Yeah.
Okay.
That sounds right. Yeah.
Okay. So then the damage field would automatically do damage to them. with 11 points. So that would then give you 4d6 damage, and you could give it armor piercing of 2.
Nice.
Okay.
So what do I roll to try?
You don't have to roll to try and do it. That's one thing that's fucking cool about this, is that you spend it, you just do it.
Oh, okay, cool.
So your speed,
But you spend a Benny? Is that right?
Yeah, you have to spend a Benny to power stunt.
Okay, perfect.
Okay. And then would you give us a roll of, let me see here.
So you can imagine I'm running incredibly fast around these 3.
Yeah, so they'll have to make an evasion roll or they take this
Wendigos.
damage. Go ahead, and is there any way to make it more dangerous? There's not. Okay.
So it's so because it's a field, I just roll the 46 and they try to dodge it?
Yeah,
or...
and then they'll make it. I'll make an evasion roll. You'll apply the damage to all of them.
Okay.
Okay. So it's at 46 exclamation mark.
Oh,
Like
right.
everything else in Savage Worlds, this can explode.
Oh.
Okay, there's 11. Remember, you can spend a Benny to reroll damage too.
Right. No, I'll just go with this one for now.
Hey. Let's see.
Now, do I have to spend a Benny every turn I try to do this? Is that how that works?
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. And I will tell you, that's not a great roll. Are you
No,
sure?
I know, but if I'm gonna be spending bennies to try and do this every round, if I spend a Benny to well, okay, fine, I'll do it. I'll spend a Benny to reroll.
So 4d6 exclamation mark.
I'll try it again.
I see at least one of those got to explode. Come on.
You would think you got a good chance.
There we go. Look at that.
Man, Roll20 is not letting me down on the Benny spends today.
No. Okay, so I need to make. Okay, so they're
Got me a
agility.
Joker and now got me like
All right,
3
let's see.
times the
Joker's
damage.
awesome.
Yeah.
Okay. I got one success. I think the one you knocked in the ground, it scrambles and manages to pull itself back a bit, but the other two, they just go up in flames and are completely incinerated. And you can hear the howl of the dying soul as they're consumed.
And I mean, he's so fast. I think you can see him like run past his allies while he's sort of charging this up and say like something about fire or, like burn them or something,
Okay. And you've also managed to shake off Cygnus's effect on you. All right.
Nice.
And you would have done +2 damage to that as well. So that would have been 31.
Right, because of that, yeah.
So yeah, that's a lot. All right.
That's crazy.
So then that thing is scrambled back. Next up is Bouclier. How are you doing?
I think he's going to use the example of a power stunt you have on his sheet.
Yeah.
Blast of Energy doing 5d6 damage to all in the medium burst template.
Nice. Okay, so the so it's effectively the exact same thing. How much damage does it do?
5d6.
5d6. Okay.
At least that's what you have on the sheet. Unless that's
No, that's absolutely that's correct. The reason I ask is because normally you'd want to place that somewhere, but if you do it on yourself, you'll be able to roll damage on yourself and absorb that energy.
Yeah, that's what he's doing.
Okay, so first off, let me just roll
Again,
I'm going to roll the evasion checks for these guys because they do get a chance to try and jump out of the way. Evasion is an agility check at -2. That's the same thing that Mind Warp did when he was trying to avoid the area. Let's see here. That is, one of them managed to throw themselves out. I think the one that was pissed at you, so they're going to be avoided. But go ahead and give us a 5d6 exclamation mark. And so roll backslash R 5d6 exclamation mark. Let's see how much damage. Oh, jeepers! All right, so that is explodes out. And is it just like generic comic book energy?
Yeah, I'm guessing it, but it's like his skin kind of like glows like for a second, like basically the energy that he's absorbed comes up to the front and then kind of like.
Okay, so then, those two are down and
I have to roll some soak rolls.
yes. So you, so 23 against you, And they're actually going to be knocked one back and knocked one back, and you'll be knocked one back as well. Yes, you have to roll some, give us a fortitude roll. Now, your toughness currently is an 11. So that is 1, 2, that's actually 3 wounds you're rolling against.
Yep.
Okay.
By the way, okay. And I will definitely be doing some bennies if I don't succeed.
Yep.
So, sorry.
But let's see here. Why don't you go ahead and give us...
Bigger rolls, right?
No, because of your absorption ability, it uses focus.
Okay, right.
Right.
And by the way, I'm shaken, so what effect did that have? No, that just affects...
Oh, sorry, yeah, if you were shaken, then the first thing you need to do, give us a unshake. There's a button on there that says unshake.
Okay.
What you can do is you can also spend a Benny to unshake, so we'll just see whether you needed to spend a Benny to unshake.
Okay, sure.
Yep, you were good.
Yep, okay.
Okay.
All right. So now,
give us a focus roll, please. Yeah.
Yep.
And you got 3 wounds to shake. Look at that! Beautiful. Oh, make sure you take your shaken condition off as well. Now, so that is...
Because it'll automatically apply a penalty.
1, 2. Oh, that was 1 off from soaking all 3. So here's what happens. If you can go in your character sheet, raise your strength by 2 more. You have 2 transformation tokens and increase your size to 3.
Okay.
And then
put... this will take a second or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then put on your... Here, I'll put the wound on your token because you did suffer 1 wound, and at the start of next round you'll make your regeneration roll to try and heal that 1 wound.
Okay.
Now
when I increase the strength, I don't increase the strength mod.
So do you see where I put it? Not the mod. Look where the modifier is already for steps up. Click on the token here. Click on the little cog.
Yeah. Oh, click on the token.
Okay, so here we go. No, not the token. So look on your character sheet. You see how I've opened up the cog?
Yep.
You see where it's right now? You have a 1.
Oh, the cog. Got it.
Do you see where it says 1 steps boosted?
Yep. Steps boosted. Okay, so now it's up to 3. Yep.
So bump it up to 3.
Okay, got it.
And then change your size to 3.
Change my size to 3. Okay, got it.
See how it automatically calculates your toughness?
Yep. And now he's looking pretty. He's actually looking pretty buff now. You know, he's gotten bigger. The flesh is beginning to, you know.
Well, I love there is on the yeah. So you can close the lock now, and it'll go back to the regular. Yep. There you go. And to give you a sense, I love the size chart in this. You are currently 1 size away from having a. What do you call it? Having reach.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
Okay. Yep.
Downside is
so
it also...
How tall he is?
He's 1 away from, I'll tell you, size 3, you're the size of a bull or a war horse, 12 feet tall and 2,000 pounds.
So I'm bigger than these guys now.
Yeah. Also, you're getting into the territory of you can lift a half ton without effort right now.
Okay. Great.
If you're familiar with Marvel superheroes strength, you're kind of somewhere between excellent and remarkable right now.
Okay.
Yep. All right. So yeah, Bouclier is getting big. You're almost ready to start taking up an extra hex. And he looks a little staggered by this because he's got the wound. So you are shaken once again by your own effect, but you'll roll reshake, or you can spend a Benny and unshake automatically.
He'll do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're ready to face these things. All right. Then it is Cygnus's turn. What are you doing, Cygnus?
I think we're doing okay right now. I think I'll probably worry about that next term. I think right now, I'm just going to go ahead and use my my dark matter and blast. I think I'll blast that one right there.
You got it. That is in short range, so just give us a click on your. I think I've got it set up as an attack for you.
Yep.
Okay.
Dark matter blast.
And the target number is a 4 normally. Oh no! Oh no! And that's one of your powers.
I know that's.
Nice.
That's
I
reckless.
want this stuff to happen.
Okay, so this is going to be an interaction with, because you got reckless as well. Whatever's happening between you and Mind Warp is carrying over. So you're trying to manipulate that dark matter, and
I like it's right after I stunt my power too.
yeah. I think what is happening is Cygnus, as you try and do this, maybe it's Mind Warp, maybe it's the magic, maybe it's all this shit happening together. But where do you picture your singularity being focused?
You mean like on my person?
On your person, yeah.
Yeah, it's his chest. It's this lens. This
All right,
dark
so
lens.
you begin to try. You try and activate your and the dark matter blast. Do you picture that being like Iron Man repulsor blast kind of style, or
Not necessarily repulsor, but yeah, he definitely. That's why he kind of built the armor that allows him to direct the energy from
Got
the
it.
lens.
Okay, so
he
you
throws
pull
his
this
arms
power
out
in, and you're about to unleash it, and instead, what you feel is a feeling of like it's a combination of like the worst heartburn you've ever had, and that feeling of like, you know, when you swallow like a Slurpee or something too cold and it just sits in the
brain freeze.
chest there. So you feel that, but then what happens is you kind of your singularity point pulls you forward and something flies out of it. And let me show you what has you have accidentally opened a portal for.
A time dragon.
This is what pulls itself out.
I named it something clever.
Yeah, exactly. I'll very quickly lose track of that token. Now let me put the thing down here. So the dark spirit is, I'm going to put it right there. It is on par with you. And guys, I have great news. You have faced or met now your first wild card opponent. Because this is a full-on thing. I'm going to give it a card for this round. 7, so it'll act after the Wendigos. So Cygnus, this has never happened before. So what the hell's going on?
Yeah.
All right, and let me get the stats. This thing, because I've got this here, because this is going to be fun. All right.
Is that what you call it? Is that what the kids are calling it these days?
Exactly. All right, so then that is it for Cygnus, I believe. You can still move Cygnus if you want. And don't feel constrained by the map if you because of superhero stuff. This is where we're going to measure the fights and whatnot, but because you can move so much.
Yeah, I think then maybe he would probably. I don't know. I think he's so shaken by this. He's just kind of stunned.
Okay.
I think that's what's going on.
All right.
This has never happened before.
Right, and it's freaky as hell.
I think Mind Warp, because of the connection, you felt that kind of weird pull. Almost like, like maybe a strong wind buffeting you in a direction, or as if the world was, uneven and you were kind of stumbling as the singularity wrenches this dark spirit out. Let's see here, and I'll put a name on it.
Definitely got my attention.
I know that's right.
Okay. We'll do that. That's my on-the-fly naming of this thing. Singularitas. Feels like an appropriate 90s character name.
Yes.
I got less than a minute to name this thing. What am I going to give it? All right. Then it is Wendigo's turn. All right. So that one that recovered, he's no longer distracted. He's going to leap up from being prone. And I can't remember in Savage Worlds if it costs something to get from prone. Just going to look it up so I don't have to look it up again. I don't think so. Standing just costs 2 inches of movement. So yeah, this thing leaps up and comes at you, Mind Warp. And kind of, and it's going to try and bite you this time. All right. So here we go. And it's going to Wild Strike. It's throwing all of it. It's going to be vulnerable next round. So we got +2 to hit. But that one is not going to help, so it misses you. Then I've got 2 that might recover here. Let's see if they regenerate. No. Your explosive burst of energy bouclier has left the Wendigo on the ground still broken, and they're kind of trying to stitch themselves back together, but they're not getting up this round. The one that's facing you, however, is going to get up and then run in on you, even though you're bigger than it now. And it goes to claw you. Ooh, that's a 10. Okay, I hit you with a raise. One of the rare places where, like, how many raises you get doesn't matter is on attack rolls. So as soon as you get a raise, you know, like, it's tempting to keep rolling to see how high you can get if you're playing with dice, but, like, it just doesn't matter. All right, and then the damage for this is unfortunately cold damage. What is your toughness right now? It's 13, isn't it?
Toughness right now is 13.
Okay. All right. Here we go. And I got a raise. So let's see here. It's 13. That is... Oh, and you're shaken, right?
No, I used the Benny to...
Oh, use the Benny to unshake. Okay, so then you are shaken once again.
Okay.
By this thing.
Okay. I'll go ahead and spend another Benny.
Yep, you can spend a Benny to unshake at any point. So this thing hits you, but you are unshaken. Then it is Singularitus's turn. All right. So this dark spirit looks at you. Let me zoom in a bit, because that's a freaking cool illustration. Here we go. All right. And Cygnus. This is going to... Whoa! It will reach out with its tendrils of darkness and try and hit you. Does Cygnus have any dodge? I don't think so.
I don't see. That would be. Yeah, I don't.
Let's see here. Oh, but you're flying?
Mm-hmm.
-1. So I have -1 to hit you because of your speed. Okay. Your ability to maneuver. So I need a 5 to hit you. And uses focus. Alrighty. Whoa. Almost sent my dice tray flying. All right, here we go. Ooh, both exploded. So I hit you with a raise on this. Here we go. It is AP 10. So I think I ignore all of your armor. I'm just rolling against a toughness of 8. So let's see here. It's not a great roll, though. It's 17, 15. Okay. You are shaken, and you will take 1 wound, Cygnus, as these tendrils, like somehow they're passing right through your armor.
Yeah.
Almost like it's, you know, your armor is designed to take in and process this power, so maybe it's getting right in there and starting to get in at you. What you can do is spin a Benny and soak it. You make a vigor check.
Okay. So first, don't I want to unshake?
No. You actually make the soak roll before you take the damage, and then if you soak that 1 wound, you also don't become shaken.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I'll spin the Benny. We'll roll soak.
Okay.
Submit.
Nice. That's what you got. So 1 success. So you soak the wound, which means you also are unshaken. So cool. I think you, at the last second, like you can feel these things going in the armor, and they're like, you know, all the different, whatever, the heads-up display, the warnings of like rupture, you know, seals breached, blah, 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 blah. And you're like, wow, and pull yourself back in the nick of time, but leaving this trail of shadowy tendrils. The way this thing lurches towards you with those tentacles over its head does not seem pleased that you have escaped its power. It is going to fly over here, though, as its last move action. And that's it for the round 2, guys. We're on round 3. Here we go. Mind Warp. You've got a... Oh, hold up. I got to shuffle because we drew a Joker. Go. Shuffle the deck. Here we go. Mind Warp. Look at that. Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
Each of you gets a Benny. And Mind Warp, you're going to get +2 to everything. Then Cygnus, a 9, Bouclier, An ace. Nice. The Wendigo, a 2, and Singularitas, a 5. I'm going to spend a Benny from Singularitas to try and get a new card. A 5. Did I spend one more? Fuck it. Let's try it. That's how I blow through all my enemy bennies. Ace. There we go.
All right. I'm going to spend a Benny for another card, Kevin.
You got it. Okay. Queen.
Is ace lowest or highest in this?
Ace is high, but it goes in reverse order. Reverse alphabetical. So spades would go before hearts. Do I spend one for... You guys are already so hard. I'm not bothering with any spending for the Wendigo. Anyone else spending bennies? No?
No, I'm good now.
No.
Mindwar, when would you like to act?
I'm going to go right away because I see now that we need to get rid of these Wendigos as fast as we can because something more dangerous has emerged.
Yep.
So I'm going to stump my power again to do that burn.
Okay.
I need something that actually takes them out.
Okay, so I'll say the one on the ground and the one... if you move here before you do that...
Oh, yeah, right, because it's an area.
Yeah. So let me make the evasion checks for both of them. The one on the ground, I'm going to give an additional -2 to it. So for that one, I need an 8. He actually does it. For whatever... In his thrashes and wivings, he's manages to get out of the area. And then the one that's facing you... It's a regular... so he's -2. I need a 6 or higher. He is caught in it. Go ahead and give us a roll. 4d6 exclamation mark +2.
So it's 16.
16. So that is enough to shake it, but not cause a wound.
Mm.
Oh, wait. Your thing was 8. Hold on. It was AP2, though. Hold on. That actually might... that is enough. So the one that you've been facing off that keeps hitting you and whatnot, likewise,
Perfect.
Caught in a torch. All right, then Singularitas is going next. So Singularitas actually is going to try and blast you once again. So you have 5 to hit you. Let's see here, it's a miss. I'll spend a Benny to re-roll. It's a hit with a raise. Okay, so, and then damage. Once again, need all these. Ooh, 10, 18, 21. So, 8, that is 1, 2, 3. You're taking 3 wounds from this sickness. You can spend a Benny again to soak if you like.
Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and soak.
Okay.
So this is why I hold on to my bennies.
Heck yeah.
Oh, yeah. They're very important.
Oh man.
Oh, at 10 o'clock past, you guys would have got a Benny, by the way. That's
Cool.
1. So you're going to be shaken, and you take 2 wounds from this sickness.
Shaken.
Now, you could spend a Benny and re-roll that if you like.
Okay, well, hold on a second. Then let's do that first.
Okay.
And go back to soak. No. Same result.
Okay, so yeah, you're going to soak 1 wound, so you're taking 2 wounds from it, and you are shaken. And then what this thing does is it turns and, like, it moves again like that kind of, wispy ghost kind of feel, where like what do you call it, a sheet caught in a breeze, and it actually whips in the direction of the snow and disappears in there. That was strange. Give us a notice check, Sickness.
Please, for the love of Pete. Of course, I'm shaken, so yeah.
Nah, it's actually shaken doesn't affect your roll. It's the wounds that will.
Oh, it's the ones. Okay.
Do you want to spend a Benny and re-roll that, or?
Why the hell not?
Heck yeah. Benny's refresh at the start of each session, and you lose whatever you got, so. Can't take. So close.
Yeah.
It's just, I think the reaction and pain. What's going through Cygnus's mind right now? Holy smokes.
Yeah.
What's going through Cygnus's mind, having been?
He's discombobulated. Fortunately, when he first attacked him, the armor helped shunt some of that because it's that's what it's designed to do. It's designed to control the dark matter. But that second one, it just was so overpowering.
Yeah.
You know, shorted stuff, and his mind is racing, doing calculations. I mean, there's a lot of math in his head right now.
Yeah.
Trying to figure out how that happened and where the hell did it go.
Yeah. Oh, which reminds me, I need to put one quick modifier on Bouclier's sheet here. Go in here for a second, because there we go. His Iron Jaw grants him a +2 to soak. So I forgot about that. And actually, I didn't calculate that in your focus roll from before too. So we need to make sure we remember that. All right, then. So Singularitas has blasted and torn at Cygnus with his shadowy blast. He seems to be, quite badly hurt by it. Then it is Bouclier's turn. What are you doing? First off, give us a focus roll, Bouclier, to see about your. Or you can just click on. Actually, you know what?
Roll, yep.
Click on regeneration. I've set it up so it'll roll for you in that.
Okay. Yep.
Because that happens at the start of your round.
Got it.
Yep. So get rid of that wound.
Roll 5 for. What is roll 5 for? What does that mean?
So the roll
I'm making
is.
a focus.
What do you think it means?
Focus. Never mind. I'm making a focus roll.
Yeah, you've made a focus roll in there.
Oh, okay. Makes a focus roll in there. Got it. Okay.
Yep. So you heal that wound.
Okay.
What does that look like?
Let's just say he has a nice big gash across one arm, and it's like the skin kind of creates another fold over it, and then kind of smooths back out again.
Nice. All right, so get rid of that wound, and then what are you doing in this round?
He is going to move. Since he has 2 transmute tokens now.
Now there are attacks of opportunity in this. It's a free strike. So if you're moving away from this Wendigo, it will have a chance to attack you.
Okay. Will that be every, if he goes next to it and then next
if you're
to
moving,
it again,
as long as you're not leaving
be...
contact with it, then no, you're fine.
Okay. Okay, so he's going to go here. Now, the medium blast range says 8.
So medium blast would hit all 3 of them.
Would hit all 3 of them. Okay. Yep. Yeah, he's going to do that. So he spends another transmute token, and he says,
"Okay,
stay down."
All right. So let me roll evasion. I'm going to give them, again, the ones on the ground get minus. I need an 8 from them. One of them succeeds again. It's probably that one right there. I think that only took 1 of your transmutation tokens. You would still have 1 left.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to.
Oh, just put it back? Okay. And then the one that is up and not suffering any penalties, that's Jack Dice. That's a fail. So go ahead and give us a 5d6 exclamation mark roll, please.
Sure. Oop. I'm just this way. Yeah. 5d6 exclamation boom.
Nice. Hey. So both of them and yourself, they're going to be blown back 1 each, and you'll be blown back. Give us a 1d6 roll, please.
Sure.
2, 3, 4, right over here. And now give us a focus roll at +2. Remember, don't put the plus sign in, or roll 20 will collapse in on itself. Just put 2 as your modifier. That'll include your Iron Jaw bonus. So focus at +2. Nice. So you soak. Let's hear. You would have taken. What's your toughness? 13 right now. 1, 2. Yep. So that's 3 wounds. So same as last time. Basically, you're soaking 2 of those. Increase your strength by 2. Increase your size by 2. Increase your transmutation tokens by 2. And you take 1 wound. And you're shaken.
Okay.
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 And I'll trust you to do that. And then it is Cygnus's turn. So first up, why don't you give us a unshake roll?
Okay. And that's just, I don't have to spend a Benny for that, right?
You don't spend a Benny for it. You spend a Benny to automatically unshake, which you didn't need to do at all. So there you go. Unshake yourself. And then what are you doing?
That's a good question. I mean, they're all broken up at this point.
Can I make a suggestion?
Yes, please.
Okay. One of your abilities, as long as you're using your suit, is super science. Super science is kind of like a super kick-ass version of power stunts, because you spend a Benny and then you'll be able to use up to the power limits of the game, which is 15 points, to develop some other power. So for instance, if you wanted to activate the medical subroutine and trigger regeneration,
oh wow,
you could do that.
Huh. That would cost a Benny to do that.
It would cost a Benny to activate, and then as a passive ability, it would be active for 5 rounds.
Holy crap. Yeah, let's do that. Do I need to roll anything?
You do. You will need to make a science roll here, and remember, because of your genius ability, you get to roll it twice, as long as you roll double ones. And then on a success, it'll heal 1 wound. On a raise, it heals 2.
Okay.
Okay. So let's see how you do here. Remember, you get a free reroll with this already, and then you can also spend bennies to reroll.
Let's do.
So give us a free roll. Come on, let's see a better numbers.
Oh
no! Oh, rah, rah, rah.
So that didn't work.
I'm going to give you a bit of a devil's bargain here.
Okay.
You can have it trigger and heal those 2 wounds, but it's going to be tapping into whatever unknown sources were in the singularity that spawned Singularitas.
Yeah, sure, why not?
It's all right. So this strange powers wash over you, and it's like taking an ice bath. You are fully and completely... It's as if nothing ever hurt you. All right. Then it is Wendigo's turn. Let's see if they can regenerate at all. So they are... Make sure I'm rolling the... Yeah, I'm rolling the wrong dice. Madison, you're cheating. On the wrong dice for their abilities. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. 2 of them managed to stitch themselves back together. And they are going to actually turn and run into... Let's see how much... They have an increased pace at all? Nope, so I do actually have to make it to the edge. So one's going to make it 11. Let's see here. Is 11 enough to get to the edge? Yeah, most definitely. And the other one has only got 5. So I'll be able to get to there. All right, so one of them, how's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. Gets to there and is running to the edge. The other one is still... Yeah, that's cool, Will. That's awesome. I got something else. There's other magic and shit, and you've got mind warps abilities going around. So there may be something. Yeah, love it. That brings us to the end of round 3, guys. Round 4. Buckley, are you shaking right now?
He is. Yep, he's shaking.
So, and it's also, you may have picked up, it's sometimes better to wait until your turn to spend that Benny to unshake, only because, like, you could...
Yep, I just realized, especially if you're, like, the... Does the shaken provide any benefits to the attackers?
No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah, so, okay.
You're still able to respond or whatnot. It's just you're sort of staggered. What if you take another shaken result, though, unless you got some other ability like Hardy, it translates into a wound. Let's quickly check in on Cygnus's size, or Bouclier's size. What size are you right now?
I've already got that. He's up to a 5, so he's 18 feet tall now.
Here's something awesome. Yeah.
Imagine a large white rhino or a beluga whale.
Yep. And you have +1 wound. You take 4 wounds now. And you have a reach of 1. And you're bigger.
Yep. A lot
That's
bigger.
such a cool character.
Yeah. Then let's finish the cards here. Cygnus. Queen and Bouclier. Oh, no, hold on. Sorry, guys. We drew a Joker last turn. I forgot.
Oh, you got to shuffle again.
Got to shuffle the deck here. Here we go. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. And make this quick here. Mind Warp, Cygnus, and Bouclier. There you go, guys. And the Wendigo. Ooh, Jack of Clubs. Anyone spending bennies to get another card? Guys are kind of sitting pretty here.
Yeah, I was going to say, because clubs would be last, right, Kevin?
Yeah, Mind Warp is the only one who's going to act after the Wendigo. So, I'm not hearing anything being spent. Then, Bouclier, give us an unshake roll, please.
Unshake. All right. Cool.
Yes. What are you doing this round?
He is going.
What is your strength right now?
As opposed to doing the. What's that?
What's your strength right now?
My strength is D12 plus 4.
D12 plus 4. I have good news. You can lift 2 tons right now.
Yep.
Which means
going.
you can D12 plus 4. You can currently pick up a motorcycle, add plus 2d6 damage when you use it, and use it as an area effect to hit 2 targets at once if they're adjacent.
I'll do that.
Well, I mean, like, you need to find a motorcycle, you need to pick it up and whatnot. But I just want to give that to you as an option. And then once your strength hits a D12 plus 5, you can pick up a car and do your strength plus 3d6. So,
you know what? He's still new to all this. He's just going to go over and try to punch the crap out of the one that's actually still standing.
Okay. I'll move
That's 1, 2, 3, 4. He can get, and he has reach, so he can go. He's going to come around this. Well, hold on. It's hard to see where the. So that's that. So that would be 1, 2, 3.
I can actually
4.
change. Hold up. I can change the colors of the grid.
All right. I think if he goes here, it's 5, and he has reach on.
There we go. Is that easier to see, guys?
Yeah, it is for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So yeah, you and you've reached.
So if he had reach, if he was here,
Yep.
if he was here, he could hit both of them. Okay.
Absolutely.
Okay. And he's doing a wild strike on this guy.
Nice. So wild strike is plus
+2
2 to hit. Since you mentioned hitting both of them, I'll just point out that you could, in theory, use 1 attack on each of them, and because you're wild strike, it'll offset the multi-action penalty of -2.
Sure, that's what he's going to do.
Okay. So go ahead and give us an attack on the top one.
Is going to be on. Yep, the first attack is going to be on the top one.
Okay, go right ahead.
And that is. Let's see here.
I think I've got it down as knuckle sandwich.
Attack.
Or no, I've got the big payback. Yeah. No, so remember, click on the attack, not the power.
Click on the attack. Okay, there it is. Skier, the big payback.
Yep.
Yep.
Go. That is a miss. You want to Benny that?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah. -1 there.
Oh, hold on. So before we do that, would you give us a focus roll? We forgot to do your regeneration. Because you won't be suffering that wound penalty.
Yeah.
So let's click on focus. Yep, no problem. So your wound is gone.
Yep. Oops.
And then, so that first one still would have been a miss even with the wound gone. But go ahead and give us your second attack. Or your reroll. Sorry, your reroll with your Benny.
Yep.
Here we go. Come on. Yeah. Oh, shit. All right. You want to attack the second one? Go ahead.
Yep. Second one here. Come on.
Oh, what is so the one on the ground? Because he is prone, that is a hit. Go ahead and roll damage.
Yep. Sure. Roll damage, no modifiers.
Nice. Okay. So 12. You could spend a Benny and re-roll damage if you'd like.
That looks good, right?
No exploding dice.
Yeah, no exploding. Yeah, we'll reroll it.
Okay. There you go. 15. So yeah, this thing, while it's trying to stitch itself back together, you hit it again and pound it into the pavement. It's back to where it began. It's having to re-stitch together all over again. And then it is, let's see here. Then Cygnus's turn. What are you doing, Cygnus?
All right, so I'm trying to think exactly how this would work. I kind of want to do a power stunt.
Yeah, what are you thinking?
Where basically I want to collapse the mass, compact it,
Okay.
change the volume, using the gravity powers, kind of focusing inside.
Yeah. To like prevent it from moving or to damage it?
No, it's to hurt it. Yeah, this is to hurt it.
I think we can use the same. We'll just use your dark matter blast.
Okay.
For that, because it's not fine. Like unless there's something else that's happening with it. Like I'll give you an example. One thing you could do with super science, it would cost you a Benny to trigger it, but attack powers last for 2 rounds with super. I think it's 2 rounds. Click on your super science. I thought at one point it was 3, but it's actually. There we go. Yeah, 2 rounds. Yeah. Pass over 5. So what you could do is spend a Benny to gives you 15 points to build a power. You could combine, have a linked range attack and entangle that would do damage and potentially entangle it.
What if this is really where I was going with this?
Yep.
Pressure times volume is equal to temperature. So if I raise that, I'm trying to raise his temperature.
Yeah, okay.
So I want to kind of add like a heat element.
So then, I mean, what you could, because your super science it's got the device flaw because it has to be through your armor. It's a modification of your armor to do that. What you could do is alter your attack to do that, like narratively speaking, and it would give you 2 uses of it for free.
Yeah.
Where it would just basically be an alternate damage thing. And the reason it's worth doing it through your super science is because you get it for 2 rounds then instead of just 1.
Yeah. Yeah, let's do that.
Make sense?
I think that's a pretty good idea.
So you should adjust it. I love that scientific explanation for it too. First off, everyone gets a Benny for because we're in our last half hour.
And you want me to just do the dark matter blast? And
Please do, yeah.
Just add that. Yep.
Yeah.
It's cool. Come on.
So just make an, and then I'll apply it as fire damage on this thing, as if it was. So that is a range attack. Yep, that's a hit. Go ahead, roll damage. I'm spend a Benny to re-roll that.
Yeah, because I can't take them with me. That's like me. I like hold my bennies till like the end of the game, and then I go nuts.
So you use the better of the 2. So you're trying to catch this thing, and for whatever reason, maybe it's because you've just made the adjustment to it, it's just not triggering yet. Maybe because it's a supernatural thing, or perhaps, something else is afoot. Okay, then Cygnus, you are done. It is the Wendigo's turn. This one goes racing into the... you did taunt it, though, Buclea. I want to make a spirit check for it. See if it can resist trying to take a pot shot at you. And its spirit's not great. Let's see here. It resists. So this Wendigo, and again, let's take a look at how terrible these things look. This hunched creature looks at you, and that jaw opens up, and you can see bits of chewed human flesh fall out of it. And then it runs into that white wall. The other one is going to try and stitch itself together. Nope. You thoroughly pounded it. Mind Warp, what are you doing?
Hey, Mind Warp is going to chase these things down.
Are you running into that winter wall? Yeah,
no.
That's the face I want to see.
Maybe not. Like the one with the X though on the ground is not dead, right?
Not dead. It's stitching itself together, but it got thoroughly pounded by Bouclier.
Okay, well, I'm going to stump my power again and try and burn that one out then.
Okay, so actually, if all you're doing is, let's say you're just like moving your hands really fast across it,
yeah,
then what you would be, you'll actually get more points out of it from that. So why don't
like
you
pummeling it essentially, like
yeah. Let's see here. Why don't you give us a fighting check, please? And then I'll tell you what the damage will be because you'll be able to max this out. Let's see here.
I'm picturing Mr. Miyagi.
I mean, to be honest, you know what, Jeff? If you want, rather than doing take your distracted thing off.
Oh,
yeah. But so that is a hit, and then actually just roll your normal attack thing, because what you can do if you give a good in fiction explanation for it, you can just use a different power source for your attack.
Right.
So go ahead and give us a just roll damage from your mind spread. So 10 plus 4 is 14. Yeah, and it's like once you get the fire going, it's like a tinder where it just or flash paper, whole thing burns up and they are gone.
And then I think I would just yell up at Sickness, "Where did that other thing go?" Because he didn't really see.
So what Mind Warp would know is that further down this road, if you follow down, there's a couple of things you'll see. One of them is City Hall. One of them is the Winnipeg Symphony, and one of them is the Manitoba Museum. There's some other things down that direction, but those are the most significant buildings in that direction. So it appears that there are no other adversaries here. We'll drop out of initiative order. What do you guys do?
Let's see.
Hopefully he kind of looks down at himself for a second because he's like, this is the biggest he's ever gotten. he's like, whoa. I need a drink.
So
I need a big drink.
The snow storm, kind of what you were talking about, that's still going on there?
Yeah. That storm is still going.
And that seems a bit unnatural, correct?
Most definitely. Like it's imagine you know how like there was that what do you call it? There was a scene or a video that made the rounds on Twitter and social media and whatnot of a blizzard happening outside of a warehouse where someone had opened up the door and you can see all the wind and shit going past there and the snow. It's like that, but there's nothing that's obstructing it or preventing it.
Okay. I kind of think we need to go investigate that. Okay. Because I mean, this is
Bouclier, you can return all your levels back to normal, and you lose your token because you're out of the encounter. So Bouclier
slowly starts to shrink down.
Yeah. All right.
Did anybody take a picture?
All right. So Bouclier, I can.
All right, I'll fix everything here.
There we go. And all right. So then, guys, what happens next? So you can picture there's still this wall of snow in front of you, and you guys don't have right now, at least, any like link or comm units or anything like that. So you guys will have to actually shout up at one another if you want to be heard, or.
Do we have some kind of a device like I did in the Champions game for communicating with Dr. Caliburn?
You have a phone. He said he was going to be looking into things, so you can assume he's actually unavailable right now.
Okay, I was just going to give him a report of what we found because I don't know if my character knows, but Jeff knows we need this is very magical, so this is like a little outside of our range.
You can feel something. Oh man, that when Mind Warp mentions that, you sort of touch your singularity point again, and like there is still a feeling of cold. Oh boy, something happened there. You have yet to quantify. You're gonna want to check the sensor records. Bouclier, as you come over to talk to everyone, what's his mood like right now?
He's pretty psyched. He's like, dude, did you see that? You see how big I got?
Have you never done that before?
Not that big. This is probably his first big fight, right?
Yeah.
Like, somebody shot me once, and I got like maybe a foot taller. How tall was I? You telling me nobody took a picture?
We were a little busy.
Yeah, I'm sure the street cams got it.
Okay.
Man, I'm gonna have to remember to take a selfie next time.
You can hear the sound of something from beyond the white barrier. You can hear something bellowing down there. And something
Okay,
shouts
that
back
way.
in response. Definitely different from the call of the Wendigo.
Mm.
And you can hear what sounds like, oh man, it's like if a bear could bark like a dog. Also comes from that direction.
I have bad news, guys.
We should take those things out.
We gotta
We're
go in
gonna have to
there.
go through there.
We gotta.
Okay. Any special? Oh, go ahead.
You know, and he's just like, let's go. And then he turns to Cygnus and he says, shoot me with something.
I'll just pick you up and drop you.
Yeah, are you picking him up and dropping him again before he goes in, or you shoot him?
Yeah, let's just go ahead and shoot him.
Okay. So go ahead.
You
Roll your
asked for
attack
it,
and damage.
You got it.
We'll assume you hit. We're just looking for the damage
Okay,
roll.
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. That's how you prompt the damage.
Yeah.
That's actually not enough.
Really?
You shake him for a moment, and he's like,
Is that all you got?
And I think while you guys are doing that, you see Mind Warp take off, and he comes running back, and he's got like a scarf wrapped around his neck, and he's got some like mittens on his hands.
that's great. So that didn't. You can try and re-roll damage if you like. Keep hitting him and see if something triggers here.
Okay, I'll spend 1 mini to reroll.
Oh, you don't need to spend you could just blast a
Oh, I
second
don't?
time. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, let's blast him again. Come on. There you go.
There you go.
There you go. So that'll be 2. We'll assume you get the raise in there as well. That'll be 2 wounds you're soaking. Bouclier, make a focus check at +2, please. And remember, don't put the plus sign in.
What's that?
Do not put
Yeah.
the plus sign in.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. Look at that. So give yourself 2 points of strength and increase your size to 3.
Yep.
And you got 2 of those things. 2 of your transformation tokens. So what does he say as he's hit with his dark matter blast? What does Bouclier say as he gets bigger?
Well, first he's like, he gets hit. He's like, come on, you can do better than that. He's like, that's the stuff. Come on, let's go.
Nice. All right, let me grab your tokens here, guys. And then we will move ourselves in.
All right. I guess he's still shaking, though.
Now, I'm not going to use this map for this one, but I'm going to show you quickly here. We're assuming you recover from shaking. I just want to show Will.
Okay.
Does that not look like the old Marvel superheroes? This is one of the Gabriel Pickard maps that we used last time.
Yeah.
How fucking nostalgic is that? Love it. All right, but we're not using that map. I'm going to use, at least not yet.
Wait for it.
There we go. So as you make your way into the cold... Oh, what just happened there? Oh, it was too close to the edge. There we go. All right. So you can picture you're making your way down these streets, and I think rather than bring you back to the map, let me just show you a handout of how bad the snow is. This is the aerial shot we'd see as you're making your way down. Snow covered everywhere. tromping along. This is like going home, literally, I guess, mind warp. But for Cygnus, you're a Vancouver boy. You get snow like maybe, once, twice a year. You're in shorts come springtime, come March. Like, this is crazy. Bouclier, you get closer to a Winnipeg, but not quite as bad. Lots of freezing snow or freezing rain in Toronto. But as you step out, let me show you what is waiting. What you pass by City Hall. You pass on the left. You pass by, and no sign of anything there. You hear the cry of the Wendigo, but it doesn't trigger any fear any longer. You hear the. You pass the symphony, which seems to be intact, albeit covered by snow, and you're coming up to the intersection that of the street that divides the symphony from the Manitoba Museum. Let me show you what you see here. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. And okay, almost standing watch in here is a trio of humanoids that honestly look like they got lost on the way to that event that Jamie went to last weekend, which is to say a Viking festival of some kind. Three of these are standing towering in the middle of the street of downtown Winnipeg. And next to them, the source of that strange barking is apparent. And that is two pets.
Oh, good.
Good boys.
Let me bring you to the map. Go. Now, I'm not always going to use Google Earth maps of the locations, but for this, it was far too much fun to use a scale map. This one and the Portage and Main one are to scale of the actual locations.
Nice.
So, yeah, but I mean and you can picture the weirdly, fractalized vehicles. Assume that they're trashed. They've been destroyed by something, either by snow or by creatures. You're at the far left side of the map here. And, oh yeah, so you got your two, what do you call it? Two tokens.
Transmute, yeah.
Yeah, transmute tokens, thank
There's a
you.
clear way to get... Oh, there we go.
Okay, then these things look over. Let me make a notice roll for them. Yeah, I haven't made any effort to try and conceal yourself, or I didn't hear that at least. So it won't be a contested roll. It's just fully on them if they notice. And you get a +2 because okay. The two big things, kind of, well, I mean, they're all big. What am I talking about? The two pets. They seem looking over. Now, would you guys give us, none of you have a cult roll, so you're not going to be able to make that. Would you give us a common knowledge roll, all of you, at, I think, -2?
Nope.
No. Anyone spending bennies?
No.
Can't take them with you. You got 12 minutes left.
I am.
Okay.
Come on.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you're thinking like maybe, I mean, it could be, I can't remember if we talked about this, whether Mind Warp is a gamer or not. But let me ask you this, and you got to raise on this too. Wendigo broadly speaking, not a specific tribe, broadly speaking, what kind of mythology is that from?
Inuit.
Yep. Frost giants, what kind of...
Icelandic.
Yep. And those little, you don't know necessarily, where does, if you were to guess where those horned bear things were from?
Oh, I closed the big picture of them.
The good boys. Here you go. If you were to guess, based on the iconography and those things around it, what would you guess? More to the point, would you think it would be from either of those two mythologies?
I mean, they could be Norse or something, right? I don't know. They got weird coins on them, or...
So that is, with the race, I'll point out, that's 3 different separate kind of belief systems that these different mythological creatures have come from, and they seem, at least these 2, to be cooperating. What do you make of that? There isn't a conclusion to make of
organized. Yeah, just that something is organized. You know, this is an organized assault, I guess, is what I would make from that. A coordinated assault.
Mm-hmm. Cygnus Bouclier, any comment on that?
If he said that, then Bouclier's like, who cares? Kill him.
If I might suggest a use of one of your powers, so there is a badass version or extra you can get for leaping. That is Death from Above. As long as you're not restricted from leaping, the character's wild strikes cause +4 damage instead of +2 damage. So if, for instance, you wanted to launch yourself up with leaping, remember with your power stunt with transformation, you can go a mile. You could land as we end our session coming down on one of the frost giants.
Yeah, I love it. Who cares? And he leaps over and comes down on them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, forget the frost giant. He's going for the strange one.
Oh, nice. Okay, so that was that's our final panel of the session, guys. We'll find out what happens next time. So then, for those listening at home, thank you so much for joining us for issue 1 of our new campaign, The Guard. Guys, before I launch myself into the outro, how was your first experience with your own superheroes in Savage Worlds?
Oh yeah, I enjoyed it. Of course, like I said, I think Savage Worlds, I think that's its niche, is much more doing this than trying to replicate like fantasy D&D type stuff.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the ability to power stunt, the way they handle it.
Yep.
And I really like Robert's character. he's like the Blob and the Hulk and I don't know, somebody else mixed together, and it's just this neat character.
Yeah.
And a very immature 30-plus-year-old. I've been nothing up until now. All right, let's go.
Kevin, did you get the image that I found?
I did. Yes, yeah, and I'll load that into the game as well.
Yep, that's
Jeffrey,
fine. I just want to make sure you got it.
How did this feel as far as Mind Warp from your conception to play at the table as compared to Champions?
Yeah, I like it. It plays really well. I love the power stunting in this game, so that works out great.
Yeah,
with just spending the Benny.
Agreed. Awesome. Well then, we'll be back in the streets of Winnipeg in 2 weeks' time. But until then, we hope that we gave. Let me go through our regular outro. If you have any comments, questions, or concerns regarding the session, the campaign, or the game we're playing, please do not hesitate to leave a comment in the comment section down below, and we'll endeavor to reply in a timely fashion. Now that we've had a first session of this too, I will share the character sheets as they exist I'll modify your sickness to have flight instead of the speed and make that adjustment to your things. But here's the other thing, guys. When between now and next session, I want you to go on over to page 54 of the Savage Worlds Adventure Edition, because you guys have each earned an advance. You will be able to spend that to get a new edge, to increase a skill that is equal to or greater than its linked attribute by 1 die type, increase 2 skills that are lower than their linked attributes by 1 die type each. You can increase an attribute by 1 die step, but you can only do that once per tier, or you can permanently remove a minor hindrance. So do that, and you guys have access to the compendium. So if it's something that is not from the Superpowers Companion, as long as it's something from the core book, take a look for it in the, if it's an edge that you're taking, take a look for it in the compendium, and you can drag and drop it to your character sheet.
Okay.
Okay. There is, and for those listening at home, in addition to the link down below, you can find in the description of the video, the link to the Dungeon Musings Discord server, and it's on the Savage Worlds channel that I will post the character sheets for these characters. There's also a link down below to, let's see, and not only on that channel do we have channels dedicated to Savage Worlds and every other campaign we run on the channel, there's also a ton of other great channels with some great people over there. You are more than welcome to join us. I'm still continuing on with my year-long daily conversion process. I'm currently in Teen Titans month, so I'm posting a member of the Teen Titans as built by these rules. I've already had months that I've done Marvel Mutant Month, I've done Marvel Golden Age and DC Golden Age. Next month, I can't remember what it is yet, but we're keeping it a secret until the 1st of May. But yeah, you can join us over there, and there's also like finding group channels. There's some terrific conversations in the DM's advice channel, advice on setting up virtual tabletops or selecting between them. Just a great community that is built up over there, and you are more than welcome to join it. There's also a link down below to our friends at Noble Knight Games. Noble Knight Games is the preeminent unionized retailer of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs in North America. Not only do they have a terrific selection of new role-playing games, board games, and card games, they have an unmatched selection of hard-to-find and out-of-print RPGs, including Death Watch that we played last night. If you make a purchase of $10 or more through their website, be sure to enter the code SPRINGMUSER. All one word, all caps. If that code is good until July 1st, 2023, at which time we'll switch to a different code. If they don't have in stock something you're looking for, you can also put it on a want list, and they will send you an email when it comes in, and then you'll be able to go in and be sure to enter that discount code at checkout, SPRINGMUSER, and you will save yourself 10% on your purchase. They also have some great deals for shipping within the continental United States. Unfortunately, I, as a proud Canadian, proudly pay an import tax whenever I have an order from them, but that is part of the deal, and it's still... Yeah, I realized last night I filled the last book I needed for my Death Watch collection from them like 3 years ago or something. So they've been my go-to gaming store for like 4 years now. So really love them. In addition, there's also a link down below to something called Heroes Save Villages. That is the charity fundraising campaign we run on the channel. It benefits the SOS Children's Villages International Charity, a really amazing organization active in over 130 countries, benefiting over 80,000 orphan and abandoned children, including ongoing relief efforts in Ukraine and the surrounding countries at the time of recording. All donations that go through that link go directly to SOS Children's Villages International. None of it comes to the channel or any other middleman. It just goes to help out the kids who benefit from their services. As a small way of saying thank you, if you've donated $10 or more since the start of January 2023, you will have an opportunity to vote on our ongoing charity campaign we're running this year. It's a year-long campaign, 6 parts to it, and the donors have been voting on when we're playing, what kind of heroes we're playing, what game we're using to play it, and you can join them in doing so. Head on over to the Dungeon Musings Discord server if you've donated $10 or more, and go to the Charity Initiatives channel, and you'll find all the information you need about that to cast your vote for the next part of that campaign. In addition, if you donated $25 or more, every $25 Canadian that you donate gives you one chance to win the grand prize or one of the other great prizes in our next charity raffle. And the prizes include this time copies of the now out of print D-Genesis Rebirth Edition slipcase set. There is some chainmail dice bag made by our resident armor smith, Dave, and there is an opportunity to play a game with us. So lots of great prizes, and best of all, you also get a chance to, not best of all, but you also get a chance to vote on the components of our year-long charity campaign, and best of all, you get to help out some kids who could really use some help. Last thing I will say before calling it a day is a huge thank you to our stalwart superheroes. So, Jeffrey, Will, and Robert, thank you so much for playing today, guys. This was a great kickoff to this campaign. I cannot wait to see what you guys do next. You just from the DM side, I love how light on its feet the superpower system is. I think like the speed of play, I feel, is a really important factor, especially in these superheroic games. And being able to quickly and easily just like figure out what you're, how you're going to stunt things or how your powers are going to make you feel badass, it's just great. It's a really, really good, like you said, Will, good marriage of setting and system to make for a really fun play experience.
Yeah.
So then we'll be back in the Great White North in 2 weeks' time. And until then, we hope that we gave you a couple of hours to take, a few hours, take your mind off of the troubles of our world and see the troubles that our Canadian superheroes are uncovering in the wild streets of Winnipeg. And until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, and happy gaming.